Welcome all to the Reef podcast. I'm your host, Luis IPA, bringing you all another segment of the Reef podcast. Here with Kratos himself. How you doing, Kratos?
Oh, perfect, Sharky. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. We actually have a special guest with us today, the one and only Wise Man Shade.
What is good, everybody? Formerly known as Wise Man Shade. I had to retire. It was crazy.
And you had to retire. What is your new name now?
Shade the Hokage.
Oh my god. Is that like a freaking Naruto reference by any chance?
Of course it is. Which is weird because I do more like Kakashi stuff than I do Hokage stuff.
Oh.
So. Wasn't Kakashi Hokage at one point though?
You know what? Everybody would want that. He does have Hokage energy.
I think he was Hokage.
I think he does have Hokage energy, though.
Please give yourself an introduction, Shade, and tell everybody who you are and where you come from.
I'm currently residing at the bottom of the boot in Louisiana, of course. Currently representing my own channel as Shade the Hokage on all my social media accounts. I dabble in a bunch of esports within the Lake area and some good partnerships with Scion, of course. I'm looking forward to CypherCon as Louis is also going to be there. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Extra Life.
All right, so what can you tell us about Extra Life? What is it, and what's the main purpose of it?
Extra Life is actually going into its 16th year of existence. Last year, I'm wearing a different shirt, but they were in their 15th year, obviously, of raising money for kids. It started with a goal, which is one child, and it just expanded to giving support for different Children Miracle Networks hospitals. As gamers, we put a lot of hours and time into gaming, of course, and why not do it for a good cause? So you can go ahead and sign up at the links that we're going to provide later at extralife.org. And, you go ahead, you sign up either individually or with a team. And as you do that, you can play your heart out. You can do a mini marathon. You can play as little or as much as you like. The very first weekend of November actually has what they refer to as the game day. And that's when most of the participants actually do a full 24-hour stream. Whether it's you personally doing a 24-hour, you kind of doing a relay with your channel being 24 hours, with split among different people. However you want to do it, being live 24 hours and raising money for that good charity. Oh, and whenever you sign up, whether it's as a person or a team, you get to pick what hospital that your money actually goes to.
Really?
When you do that, it's just great because you get to, for a fact that instead of like a blanket bank charity that your stuff's going to, you can designate specifically what hospital that yours goes to. And I'm really thankful right now. I know I'm going on, but I'm really thankful because we just got a partnership with our local hospital that our money has been going to for years. And we were actually able to hook up with them. It's really good to be able to know where your money's going with a charity. Normally you're just like, hey, Red Cross. I'm not knocking any of these charities, but there's Red Cross, Wounded Warrior, a bunch of different things. But we were actually able to physically go to the children's wing. Myself and one of my teammates, Coco G, we were able to tour the hospital where they physically showed us what our stuff went to and the dollar amounts that they cost and things like that. So, I mean, it's really involved. If you want to just go ahead and like do what you got to do, stream, you don't have to be as involved as we are, but it's just good to know that I personally am supporting something that I know without a doubt is supporting something else. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's really big. It's really good.
That's awesome. So basically you're trying to tell me that anybody that signs up, like they can actually put challenges that they want to do, like for Extra Life, and then like, that's how they help out, or
like... Yeah, like you can just do, like, I know some people, like, I know the Call of Duty crowd is doing like 25 cents a headshot, or like, they do mini challenges like, I personally do one of these, not necessarily in Call of Duty, but I'm one of the people that's like, man, all right, cool. I'm gonna do Dead by Daylight. If I like, do y'all think I'm gonna win this one, or am I gonna escape, or I'm gonna die? Okay, cool. Since the majority said I'm gonna die, $10 if I die goes to Extra Life, and I out of my own pocket go ahead and donate that. You can do a Facebook fundraiser that connects to your team. That'll also have, we share stuff on Facebook for the dumbest things, period. So you may as well just share it for something that's actually awesome. So you can do that. The charity links directly to Facebook. Facebook collects the money. You don't have to see anybody's personal information. It takes care of it. Again, like it's just a no-brainer. You sign up for a team, get together, you pick your local charity, and then you just go live and raise the money.
And you mentioned that Extra Life, is Extra Life gonna make an appearance somewhere, or are they gonna be like somewhere soon?
So the way that the structure is of it is Extra Life as a whole is an organization, but each local hospital, through the not Christus St. Patrick, that's the hospital that we're doing, but the Children's Miracle Network itself has that. Most of the hospitals that actually do that, they have their own representative. We've been lucky enough that the director of the hospital is also dual staffed to also be the local Extra Life representative. So she's fulfilling two roles, and she's going to be at CypherCon with a table to be able to answer any questions that y'all have, to also take donations, to also, if you want, or you're a streamer, you can actually join our team to support the same cause. Or if you're not local, because I know Cypher's going to draw in some people from like surrounding areas in Southeast Texas, like Beaumont, Houston. Let's say that you want to start your own local to support your hospital back home. We'll even help you start your own team. So we're not just trying to support our own local hospital. We're trying to support kids in hospitals everywhere. So we'll have all that information at the table for you.
That's always amazing, because I mean, you can't just have it like locally. You want to actually spread like the organization everywhere, so everyone actually knows about it. Because if it's all over the U.S., eventually it'll start going to other countries as well. Which is like like they'll be like, hey, look at this organization. It's like really popping off in the U.S. We kind of want it over here now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with 16 years under their belt. Now, I will just be completely transparent. The agenda of the organization has changed a couple times. I know the first time they were actually really heavy into cancer, and then different types of cancer researches and funding. But then, we had COVID. And so for a while, they actually went into COVID research. Because at the initial boom, we didn't know what caused it. They didn't do just generic COVID. They went ahead and went, children. Like the biggest focus has always been children. So, the funds were allocated there. But, after the pandemic, we're kind of post-pandemic, they're kind of retooled their focus to, instead of specific COVID funding, just, that funding in general. I know that our local charity, which is Christus St. Patrick Hospital, that our funds are going to be benefiting. They're doing it to their pediatric wing, which is awesome. So it's just nice to know that you always hear like, hey, we're collecting this money for medical research, blah, blah, blah. No, when you select your charity for your specific hospital, it's good to get that communication and know exactly where they're going to be spending that.
And also like see proof where it actually is going. Like if you actually see it for yourself.
Correct. And like if you're in the Lake Charles area, you can hook up with me. I will be at CypherCon, and like legitimately, our director has a open door policy. Matter of fact, she gave us direction after hours. Like I got off of work at like 5:00. She did not care, did not mind, made the time for us to actually take a tour of the hospital after hours. So she has a open, hey, whatever it's going to take to generate exposure, whatever it's going to take to help out the kids, she's willing to actually make means for us to actually do that.
That's awesome. All right, so Nightmare, what you got for him?
So you mentioned the fact of you could sign up as either solo or a team. What other methods, what other options is there signing up?
So whenever you sign up, there's a couple little things that you can do. Some people, they want to participate and they don't want to do the traditional gaming. Like the traditional format is you come in, you go to the website, click on sign up. It's going to give you a couple membership options. One of those membership options is to go ahead and, declare being your own. There is a sponsored team if you want to be a part of one of the bigger collaborative teams, but that would require you getting with that corporation and being sponsored, or you can start your own local team. But once you do that, you can also go ahead and do once you do any of those formats, you can become a platinum member. Now, the benefit in being a platinum member, of course, is you want to do charity for charity's sake, but of course, it's nice to have incentives. So if you do sign up and you do become a platinum member, you pay $19, which that donation does count as you performing a donation, and you're a platinum member. At like different increments of what you raise will qualify you to get certain incentives. I know at $50 you got something, $100 you got like a decal or something. And then my favorite, of course, every time you raise $200, and this is cumulative, this isn't like at once. You get one of these cool T-shirts. I've gotten several of them. There's a medal. You get a silver medal if within the year you hit $500. I would love it if I hit $1,000 this year so I can get a gold medal. But that's it's just like little incentives to keep you going. But yeah, those are pretty much the methods. I did talk about how not everybody wants to like traditionally game or whatever like that. The reason why I brought that up is that one of the early year complaints was tabletop gamers. Like, how do they go ahead and participate? Because maybe you don't want to stream for 24 hours, but you still have that spirit that you are gaming for 24 hours. You can play 24 hours just doing tabletop off stream, collecting off-site donations, and then just making it happen that way. Basically, any way that you can go ahead and participate within that game date time, they make it so easy for you to go ahead and do that. And you can just sign up, and there's even a selection where you can do online donations, which actually gets processed through their own payment plan, their own payment processing, I should say. And then there's a section for offline donations where, you can go ahead, get the cash, convert it into like a money order or something, and send it to their corporate office just to make sure it goes toward you fundraising for your team.
Okay. So this is actually not a question about Extra Life, but it's also actually about yourself as well. Do you consider yourself a content creator, or do you consider yourself like an actual streamer? Like when you actually like do your live segments for Extra Life, or if you do like for yourself?
I mean, I think anytime anybody hits the go live button, they're officially a content creator. Like something that you've officially put your stamp and your brand and your name on is now out there for somebody to consume, right? So, I mean, I guess in that, I think in order to be a quote unquote streamer, you'd have to stream like a lot, which is weird because it's kind of like if you're a streamer, technically you are a content creator, because you're streaming as content. I mean,
so
they're in the same wheelhouse.
So you used to be, you say you used to be called the Wise Man. Any relation to Paul Heyman with that?
Nah. It's funny that y'all brought that up. There's a like whenever he started doing that, it actually reminded me of where that name originally came from. I was actually really big into well, I say was. I'm just a little bit of my personal life. I am a cybersecurity professional. I do have a job in IT, and just while we were studying and learning and doing all kind of things about systems and working on little projects and stuff, we had a council. We called ourselves the Conclave, and each person was a wise man. Like each person had a designation, and mine was Wise Man Shade. So where that came from.
So where did Shade came from? Like, I know you said Wise Man was that, but I mean, yeah.
One of my very earliest like names came from an old online handle I had, which was referred, like it was just it's a shortening of a old online name I had, and we just went from there.
Was that actually like your very first name ever, or you had
no, my very first name was completely horrible. Like what was your first online name?
Okay, my first online name had to be P-Tier Griffin 14. Like, when
there has to be a story with that.
So
I gotta hear it.
So basically, like you watch Family Guy. I mean,
Oh,
everyone.
of course, but
So
yes,
basically, that episode that he's basically trying to rehab from like that drug addiction or whatever, and they tell him like
where he
and then
makes his way into the rehab. Yeah.
and then basically like this lady's like, I don't think you're actually you have an addiction. I think you're just an idiot. And they and they literally like, she's like, what's your name? He's like, he looks around, he sees a P, and he's like, P, and then he sees a girl crying, tear, and then a random griffin flies by. And he's like, Griffin, yeah, Peter Griffin. And he's like, oh fudge, I just said my name. So
and you decided that's my name.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And whenever I would play online, people would say, dang it, Peter Griffin, you got me again. I would do that laughter. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's actually him. I was like,
Like a soundboard, or you would? Or
no,
you would make
I
it?
would literally make it myself and literally be like, I don't know, maybe it's not Peter Griffin. And then like you're like, oh my god, it is him. I'm like, and then like just literally mute myself again, and they're like, dude, Peter Griffin got me again. But
We're
yeah.
getting some deep IPA lore.
Oh,
We are like
I like how I just totally like combo breaker reversed this and got
right.
no, you know what you did? You Uno reversed me, bro. That's
pretty much. I didn't even think about that, but yes. So like my very first name was lame as hell. It was a Nintendo Mac.
Nintendo Mac. Interesting.
Yeah, because like whenever I was my OG console that I started off with was actually like the old school wood grain Atari.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my first console.
Mm.
But I just thought I was like king shit like whenever I got the OG NES. So I was just like dominating 8-bit games. And so like, back then, like again, I'm old, bro. So like if you were the shit, you were a Mac. Like, like that's how it was. Okay. So yeah, like seriously, my original I was like, I don't remember how old. I was like a preteen, and I'm like, hey,
let me
Mac on girls. I'm a Nintendo Mac.
let me
Just beasted video games, dude.
let me ask you this. How many times did you see that dog laugh at you because you missed the damn ducks?
Bro, like first off, that was like a lot because I thought I could just like long range, like I had a scope. Which no. Like you had to be up close. Secondly, it was years before I realized that the game is supposed to be a 2-player game. And somebody could just get the second controller and control the duck.
Really?
Yep.
That I did not know.
Yes.
That's crazy.
You could cheat your ass off too. Like when the duck's about to fly away, you can have somebody on the second controller hold the down button, and instead of them like, how they would bounce everywhere? If you just hold the down button, they'll just like go in a corner and they won't do any of that.
There was an easier way to do that, right?
Yeah, like, oh, trust me, I found out all the
Be closer to the TV.
Yeah, just. But no, it was like the whole thing. I was just like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, got that out of an old Tips and Tricks magazine. Like, look
dude.
that up.
I mean,
it was literally a magazine called Tips and Tricks.
I still remember till this day, like on Super Nintendo, bro, getting a Nintendo magazine to look up Mortal Kombat freaking fatalities, bro.
No joke. Like OG Mortal Kombat or like MK2?
OG
Dude,
Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2.
I remember printing out making my own text files to do it and printing it out.
Who remembers the Super Metroid comic that came in those?
Yes, on the OG Nintendo Powers.
Oh my goodness, dude!
Yeah,
the lore that you got from that.
Who remembers back in the Mega Man days that you had to write down the password on freaking paper? Literally no save point or anything. You turn that game.
With the Mega Man collection, you still got to do it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I really appreciated that, even though they have normal save, they have save state, and they still preserved the password system, which I thought was really good.
And also there was that
Castlevania did it too.
Also there was also certain passwords on Mega Man that gave you like full armor, full things like that nobody knew about, but you only saw that in the Nintendo magazines, and you're like, oh well, let me try this code. But I mean, games back then, though, man. I mean, you give those to a kid nowadays, they'll be like, what the fudge is this? I don't know what this is.
So this is kind of me playing. Well, I'm gonna play myself real quick. Well, I sat there and I was like doing massively wicked combos on like MK11, and I was like, "Let's go." Then I went ahead and played Kung Fu and disrespected the hell out of myself. Like, if you think about it, like you have grapples, you have kicks, you have throws, you have all this shit. What do you have in Kung Fu? I'll tell you what you have. You have punch, duck punch, jump punch, kick, like low kick, jump kick. Bro, that boss came out and beat the brakes off of me, busted kneecaps just doing this. Duck. Just, bro, like, and I'm like, how am I dying?
I
How is this happening?
I still remember till this day, dude. Like my very first Super Nintendo game had to be Pilot Wings, and my dad would literally like if I made a 99 out of 100 on a course, even though I was already almost done with the game, he would reset my game and say start over. Yeah.
See, mine was Super Mario All Stars.
Classic.
Beautiful game.
I didn't beat Lost Levels until I was an adult.
Same.
Just couldn't even do it. Just couldn't do it.
4 years ago. 4 years ago. For
Skill
me to
issue.
beat that game.
Skill issue.
Oh my goodness, man. There's never gonna be nothing like that, dude. Like you bring those like nowadays. Nothing compares to
like
them.
there's just, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those guys that's like, man, the good old days with the good old days. No, I appreciate them for what they were. However, you know, there's just a different energy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, every time, like, I mean, me and you both worked for CypherCon for so many years now, and every time our good old friend Sam brings his arcade cabinets, bro, I'm like, oh my god.
It's funny because like I have like most of those games, not in cabinet form, of course, but I can play them anytime I want. But anytime those cabinets show up, I have to play them anyway.
Yeah,
like it's just the feel.
Oh, just wait. One of these days when I go down to visit the rest of my family, I'm going to have to video call Louis, and Louis going to just complain inside the Discord to everybody about what he'll see when I video call him, the arcade cabinet that's sitting there at their house.
Dang.
I mean,
it may or may not have Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 on the side.
Jeez.
That's pretty cool. Like, especially not to super nerd out, but my favorite design was MK2. Like, it just, that cabinet actually has like a lot of memories.
You're talking,
like, it's kind of funny, like the difference between like the actual artwork. Like, I can look at the artwork and appreciate the artwork for what it is. But then there's like, I don't just see art and think about like the design necessarily. Sometimes I think about where I was in my life when I see it. And just like MK2, that was middle school. Like I knew exactly what I was doing, what I had to pull, what homework I had to have done. Like it's weird. It's kind of like music, you know. Sometimes some songs that I listened to from back in the day, I'm not necessarily listening for that. I'm listening for that feeling or remembering
that nostalgia, nostalgia feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. So the MK2 cabinet. Like Raiden looks gimp as hell to me now. If I look at that design, I'm like, what's he doing? Like, I'm like, okay, but like as a kid, I'm like, I remember that, man.
Dude, I remember a few years ago in my hometown here, where I live in Louisiana, they had a place called Arcadian, and literally it was a bar, like an adult bar, but it would actually have arcade cabinets that you could play for free. And they had Mortal Kombat 2, they had Rampage, they had Bart Simpson's Nightmare. And I don't know if you ever played that one, but that one was hilarious. And they had Killer Instinct.
So that's some good classics. Like the one was it like Bart from like the OG 8-bit? Or was it like,
the OG, like the old one, dude.
Yeah, I was getting that confused with like just The Simpsons, like the arcade game with the 4-player one.
That one was fun.
The vacuum cleaner. Yeah, that was effectively Ninja Turtles just reskinned.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, basically, like, you know, every weekend after work, I would always go to that place and play Killer Instinct nonstop, dude. Non-freaking stop.
So, how many of you guys knew there was a Super Mario World arcade game?
That I did not know.
The actual arcade cabinet.
Whoa. That's
licensed by Nintendo.
Okay, so I knew there was a Mario 3 one. And then the reason why I know there was a Mario 3 one is because, again, old. I watched that big commercial of a movie, The Wizard, and that game was in the McDonald's before that movie came out.
Yep.
And it was specifically to like that entire movie. If you've never seen it, is specifically a commercial that was designed specifically to sell Mario 3.
It's like
And
what,
what they
2-hour movie or something like that?
Yeah, and what they did was they back channeled actual cabinets and stuck them in McDonald's. And so you had a Nintendo game in McDonald's or in McDonald's lobbies that you did not have. Like you could not get it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
Yeah.
what? And it was just dead ass called Mario 3, and the only place you could play it was McDonald's. And then the movie came out. And again, in the climax of the film, they're like, because the kids are going through a tournament, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I don't know if Louis seen it, but they're playing through all these tournaments and everything, and then like they're calling Nintendo Power to get pro tips, and the whole thing is nuts. But anyway, so in the climax of the film, they're like, we're gonna unveil a game that nobody's ever seen before. Because the whole crux is that all these kids have beaten all these games and they're so awesome and good and blah blah blah. Anyway, so to get to the climax, and they're like, it's never been before, and then they unveil it, and it's Mario 3. And they're like, holy shit. And it was just so awesome. And it was like, yeah, that's kind of trashy. We can't play it. And then they dropped a week later that Mario 3 was coming to consoles. And that's probably why that powerful marketing is why that game's like one of the best selling games of all time.
Mario 3 was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love Mario 3.
Mm-hmm. Especially the little raccoon tail. You can't go wrong with that, man.
So the thing that I mentioned this because we're talking about like all these older games with all of us, remembering these. Super Mario World for the arcade was unique because you got to pick the world you started in. So like Dinosaur Land, like whatever, you picked it and you started there.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Played through it.
Damn.
Because of the fact of, if you remember right, those quarters would only get you so much time on the game.
Yeah.
So you could pick whatever level you wanted to start at.
Mm-hmm.
So like Donut Plains or whatever, and go from there.
That's crazy. I did not know there was an arcade cabinet for that.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Like,
Yeah.
I personally have never seen it. I was in the era of having arguments because which Ninja Turtles was actually an arcade, and then everybody being wrong because both of them were.
Hey, till this day today, though, I mean, if we're talking retro games, Mortal Kombat 2 is still the hardest Mortal Kombat to beat. I kid you not. Literally, literally, you have to do certain moves because eventually the AI picks it up so quickly that you, no matter if you keep trying, you're always gonna keep getting countered. Like if you keep
it depended on what cabinet version you were using.
Yeah, that's why I was like, 50-50 depends on which one.
Because I remember playing. This is kind of off topic, but the same. Soul Calibur 2. We damn near named Maxi B Button. And the reason why is because you could put one hand behind your back and literally just push that, and he would go into like a 42 hit combo that wasn't like his string was just B.
Damn.
Like it wasn't like you didn't have to forward, back, down, any of that. Like it was literally just spam B. And that was his default combo. Nunchucks, flips, everything, just keep pushing B. And literally the arcade, the manager of the arcade was like, and literally had to change that crap. It was bad.
I still remember also playing in an arcade. I mean, this is not a retro game, but I mean, it's I guess almost retro. Time Crisis.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that counts. That 100% counts.
You still find them very rarely, but you'll still find them.
Yeah, that one was actually fun to play. And then of course, Gauntlet Legends or something like that.
No, that was it. Yeah, that's definitely that's
Hydro Thunder, man. Hydro Thunder was the best racing game for arcades.
Hey, Cruising USA, come on, man.
Well, that goes without saying.
Well, okay, look, Cruising USA came out around the same time on consoles too. I'm saying during that time that was strictly arcade, Hydro Thunder.
Yeah. For Cruising USA, it took a while for it to come out because it was on 64.
Yeah, it was on 64 before it actually came to the arcade cabinets.
That was when Nintendo was actually sponsoring arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
Because then all of their stuff had the big presented by presented by whatever,
Mhm.
like Nintendo.
That's one thing that made
Look,
me
I
laugh.
lived in a
Like,
small town, okay? Our arcades weren't the best.
every time I would actually play at the arcade and plays Killer Instinct, every time like I would hear the intro and everything, dude, I would get a chill down my spine when I hear it, and
It hits.
like it
It
literally,
still hits today.
and then literally like
It's on Xbox.
and then literally like you would actually hear like the announcer say like and now available on the Commodore 64. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, bro.
Commodore 64 was like way before Killer Instinct, dude.
I know, but
Yeah,
Super Nintendo's what had Killer Instinct.
Yeah, but I mean,
it
there
was
was
still trying to stay relevant.
yeah. The reason
Yeah.
they said that is because the arcade version of Killer Instinct came after the Super Nintendo Killer Instinct, and it was literally like a whole new level. Like, yeah, it
Well,
did.
they had Killer Instinct, and then they had Killer Instinct Gold.
Yeah. So basically, like there was an arcade version that was like right between Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct Gold. That was like the bridge, and it had the graphics of Killer Instinct Gold. But I mean, it was like almost like a beta of Killer Instinct Gold before it came out.
Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
But I kid you not, dude. Back then, playing that, and also the days of going to Blockbuster and trying out games, and they're freaking and staying hours and hours just playing.
Or the Blockbuster, like,
That,
COD tournaments.
There's a super rare Blockbuster game. It's not even technically a full game.
Mhm.
It's the Donkey Kong Country timed edition.
Mm.
Mhm.
That one is worth like a lot of money. It was a Blockbuster exclusive. It was specifically there for a Nintendo contest that they
Damn.
had,
Hmm.
and then and you could only get it at Blockbuster. But of course, Blockbuster's mantra back then was just pretty much, "Oh hey, rent a game, and if you lose it, you just buy it." Not realizing that that was quite literally the only versions of that game in
Right.
the entire world. So
Mhm.
now that version of Donkey Kong Country is worth like so freaking much.
That's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
So now that we actually know more about you, how like you actually are a big retro fan and you love like everything,
100.
like and everything like that. If you could actually meet anybody, any developer from a game back in your childhood, what developer of what game would you actually want to meet in person and shake his hand and be like, "Hey, thanks for making this game"?
Jesus. Cool. It depends. Like I have two names that like popped in my head immediately.
Hmm.
And one of them was like Kenji Inafune, I want to say. Mega
Mhm.
Man's dad.
Oh,
Like 100. Honorable mention to Hideo Kojima.
dude.
But present day, I'd probably say like I don't even know if y'all know who Yoshi P is. He pretty much makes like a gangload of all the Final Fantasy games, and I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan.
Final Fantasy is like literally one of the longest franchise I've seen till today, and one of my friends just started introducing me to Final Fantasy 14, and he's like, "Be careful, because you're about to get hooked onto it."
Do you
So-
play it?
I play it every now and then. Like he's
I
actually
haven't touched it yet.
he's coaching
So
me.
good.
I have it on PC, and he like every time I tell him I'm about to play, he's like, "Okay, I'm helping on. I'm gonna help you."
It's cross-platform. It's so good. You'll have to let me know what server y'all play on. Like, it's so good. The storyline is so damn good.
We have to answer a question for the ultimate debate. What is the best Final Fantasy game?
Ooh, okay,
That's hard.
that is hard.
What do you think, Louis? Like, what do you honestly think?
I know I'm gonna get some hate from y'all, but Final Fantasy 8.
No, that's actually one of my favorites.
Really?
It's so unique because
Dude.
every other Final Fantasy is MP, HP MP, right?
This one basically like if you had 50 fire spells, you had 50 fire spells. No, like
It's like, okay, cool. I've stocked 50. Now
Mhm.
what am I gonna do with that 50? Let me go ahead and put it on my weapon.
Mhm.
So now it boosted strength. Okay, let me put it on my armor so now I'm fire resistant. Like you could tether each spell you
Mhm.
got to your stats to
It was
boost
called
yourself.
the
was the junction
the
system.
junction
Yeah.
system, bro. And then
So good.
also the it was also known for the Final Fantasy that had the most summons out there till today.
I didn't even think about that, but you're probably right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because it beat out Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy X.
Mm-hmm. But did you know that on Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth, they found a poster of I don't know if you remember this character, Shade, but Cell, the fighting boxer or whatever, from the one that actually went to school with Squall.
Yeah.
So they showed a poster of him in remake graphics, and it showed him doing like the little dolphin move that he does, and then it actually had the letters soon. So some people are saying that maybe we're gonna start getting teases for 8 remake again. I don't know, dude.
No, I don't.
Dude, I
don't want a remake. I honestly okay, so I'm gonna say this. So I'm trying to put on how to accurately put this. I don't want, there's 2 things that I would die happy if these following 2 things happen. Don't remake any of these FF games unless you're gonna port Final Fantasy Tactics. Do a HD remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the best. The other thing is do a reproduction of Final Fantasy 13. And not even because it's my favorite one. It's because quite literally it's one of the only games that doesn't have a true reproduction right now.
Yeah.
Every other game is
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry to say this out in the podcast, but on Final Fantasy 13, the protagonist, I did not like her.
I didn't play anything past 10.
You
I'm gonna say this. I didn't play anything past 10.
Don't play 13. Please do not play 13.
Well, that's the reason was I beat 10 and 13 was just coming out and one of my friends had it.
Damn.
I go over, watched 10 minutes and left his house because I was embarrassed to say I like Final Fantasy.
I'm sorry, but
Jesus.
I'm sorry, but Lightning
was mid. I'm not gonna lie. She's a very blank default personality. They were just yo, let's just make Cloud but female. They were writing the weird hairstyle protagonist, and I think that's why we got.
Now, don't get me wrong. Visuals, beautiful visuals back then. It had really gorgeous visuals, but plot and everything, it was what the fuck is this? I don't know what this is.
One of the things that it actually gets a lot of flack for is that it's very linear. It's some people even refer to it as a hallway simulator. Because seriously, there's no room for error in that game at all. You just keep moving forward.
Right.
Keep moving forward.
Man. But I mean, yeah, favorite all time has to be 8. Hands down. I can replay it anytime I want to now that I have the PS5 port of that game.
I went ahead and against popular opinion, I bought the Pixel remaster.
Oh my god!
With those 6 games, so I didn't play FF1 originally when it came out. Effectively, I'm playing a bunch of 8 and 16-bit games that I couldn't play as a child because obviously I had an allowance and I couldn't afford it. And now everything's on sale and digital, so I can go ahead and nostalgia run through a game I could never play. Legend of Legaia, Legend of Dragoon came with a remake. Just all the good RPGs that I couldn't because I didn't have that. One
RPG that stand out for me. I mean, I know you guys are probably gonna laugh at me, but I really enjoyed the Sailor Moon RPG.
I don't think I've ever played that.
It was actually pretty fun. I mean, one of my friends had the Japanese Super Nintendo. And he brought that game.
OGS Famicom?
He brought that game with that. And he understood Japanese because, I mean, we were in Peru. And Peru actually has a lot of, Oriental people, come by and, try, go to flea markets and sell different games. And he's like, hey, you need to try this game out. And he basically brought his Super Nintendo, the Japanese Super Nintendo. He put that game on. I was like, dude, this looks fun. It's like an RPG or something. I was like, yeah, it's basically RPG, but with Sailor Moon characters. I was like, I never knew a game came out like that. And
that was a Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball Z game that was actually an RPG that came out that I played.
It was
a Japanese mod.
It was a Legacy of Goku, I believe.
I don't know, but
no, there was one Nintendo.
No, yeah. Because Legacy of Goku, you could play they had different. You wasn't Legacy of Goku was just Goku. This one had like different characters in the team.
Up until you got to like Boo's Fury and 2, the first legacy of Goku was all Goku.
All right. So, man, we actually went from talking extra live to all retro and just that's the main reason why, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually gonna get this man to be part of our This Year on Gaming, because we're gonna have a blast. He's gonna officially be part of this now, and if he's if you're down for it, dude, I'm down.
Oh no, 100%. Like y'all, like really before like today, I kind of heard that y'all had some retro experiences, but my man Kratos up here is spitting retro facts, bro. Like he knows his shit. So I'm like, okay, we can talk. He has a library.
Nintendo on.
That's what's up.
Like any Nintendo console that I could get my hands on. Yes, I include the Virtual Boy in that.
I was just about to ask.
I had the Wario game, the Wario Land game for Virtual Boy. I had that.
Damn.
It wasn't the greatest game. That thing gives you a headache. But
I'm glad that you mentioned that. Do you realize that thing came with a warning that said, "Bro,
oh God, yes.
do not operate this thing if you're not like at least 12 and above." I don't remember. We can look it up, but it came with an age warning, and the crux of it was your eyes haven't fully developed yet at a certain age.
Yep.
So even though it was a video game and kids wanted to play video games, it literally recommended do not play this machine until your eyes are fully developed. And people, of course, people are American. They just did it anyway. But I was like, as an adult, I'm like, this thing gives me headaches.
Yeah, like it's strictly a red light, and the way it worked, it would give you a headache. You couldn't avoid it. You could only play for maybe like 25 minutes, and your head would just start pounding with a migraine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get to this beautiful segment that I actually want to call "What the fuck." Okay.
Okay.
So I think you actually know about this segment because you always watch the VODs of the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, wherever it is. I know you always keep track of everything because you used to be part of us, and I always thank you for the hard work that you put out for us. So,
I know, 100%.
Dude, thank you for everything you did for us, and that's why we thanked you last time with the coffee mug that we gave you, but we have to give you an updated version of it because, unfortunately, our old co-host is not with us anymore. But, I mean, one thing about him
Life happens.
One thing about him, though, that I gotta say is that I'm happy for the guy because he used to be, I mean, I'm not trying to be insulting or anything like that, but he used to be heavy built, okay? And he literally lost almost 150 pounds. And
that's something to commend, dude.
And literally, he's more in shape. He's very active. He feels good about himself. Like, he feels like, he can conquer anything now. And I'm just gonna give him a shout out right now because that dude, when he was around doing the podcast, did an amazing job. So
100%. I mean, just the dedication. Like anytime that somebody puts their mind to do something and creating a good habit and resulting in good change, that should be commended.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So first WTF question: would you rather be invisible or fly?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be invisible. Like 100. Like you heard me say this before, but like flight, I had bike rides where I would eat bugs, so I can only imagine how worse it would be depending on like what altitude you are. I would be the one to take birds to the face. So no, I would definitely be invisible. 100%. I can only imagine the crap I would get into with invisibility. So 100%.
All right. Nightmare, what you got?
Okay. Which would you eat first? If you had to choose one first, pizza or wing?
How about a pizza wing?
Pizza. First off, I don't even know how to would that be all bread? Like, is the bone even still bread with a pizza wing? I don't know how that would work.
Oh,
like, how does that work?
Are you using like the pizza seasoning that goes on the Pringles for the wings?
Like, yeah, is it a wing that tastes like pizza or like? Is it a wing that tastes like pizza, or is it just in the shape of it to just irritate the crap out of somebody? I don't know. Anyway, so like, Anyway, I'm glad you said, what do you eat first? Because I have to have both. So I would definitely eat the pizza first and then like eat the wings as long as it doesn't have pineapple on it.
100%, man. F pineapple.
No pineapple.
F pineapple. Pineapple deserves to
Pineapple.
be
You're a
on
heathen
fruits.
if you have pineapples.
Pineapple is all dependent on the toppings. If you have pineapple and olive or pineapple ham, something really salty, the pineapple helps.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna grab pineapple's little slices and put them on your freaking bald head. How about that?
Go right ahead. I don't care. Make sure it's dull because I'll eat it afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, who's gonna consume it though? Who's gonna be consuming the pineapples after?
All right. Would you rather have 1,000 active chatters on your stream or 1,000 lurkers?
I'm gonna say, wow, as chaotic as it would be, 1,000 active chatters.
Really? The reason I'm glad you answered that because you can actually put slow mode on and literally catch up with everything.
I didn't even big brain think about that. I just thought about I led with it being chaos because like shout out to moderators,
100%.
They would have to auto mod is not catching everything.
Mm-mm.
Especially in my streams, because like I like to give people smoke. Period. You're gonna say something, I'm going to play off of it. You're gonna get dragged. My mods have they have to be commended because they have it's just so easy for some people to just be like, okay, yeah, they said something, blah blah blah, it's bad. No, I play off things people say, so my mods have to ride off the line of, okay, how long is he gonna let this go on?
Mhm.
How much is too much? Because I give back. I have to give them cues on when enough's enough. I've gotten so much good content off of people hanging themselves that, again, my mods, they have to know. But yeah, I want to grow and foster like organic relationships, and it's kind of hard to know if you're genuinely engaging with lurkers if there's not that response. So you're gonna have a couple good diamonds in the rough whenever you have like 1,000 people going at it. But I would just like the chance to like have that organic growth. But I mean, you and I have actually spoken about it before, even with lurkers do matter. We appreciate every single person who thinks enough of us to sit in our chat and actually go, hey, because like you said previously, maybe they're doing something in the background. Maybe you're just that thing that's actually helping them out while they study, while they cook, while they
Absolutely. I mean, they always hear you laughing or anything like that, and they're like, "Hey, I mean, at least they're making my day go by fast now." Because they're basically.
I just want more chances to build those relationships, and it's just harder to do that with lurkers than it is to do with with active chatting.
Right. All right, Nightmare, what you got?
Okay, so I'm going to throw a whole wrench into everything we are just talking about. What's scarier? Sharks with the ability to fly or tigers with the ability to breathe underwater?
Hands down, tigers.
Hey, tigers are friendly.
Hell no.
They're just giant cats. They're just giant cats.
Cats hate water, okay? Like straight up. They hate the water. So I'm just gonna be sitting around. I was about to say shark infested. No, it's tiger infested. So I'm just supposed to run around. Well, not even running. I'm like just vibing in the water. And I'm just supposed to like just no. Like they don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And then depending on how far down it is, like it's just a bad time for all of us. And then if it's too dark, I can't see and they can't see, and we're just
Actually, no, they'd still be able to see because has that ability to see in dark areas. So you can't see.
So I'm just the only one like fighting for my life right now.
Yeah,
they're just throwing like claws and all kinds of crap, and I'm just like, so it's just me. So no, like in that whole scenario. Like, period. For some reason in my head, I'm at least surface level with the sharks. Tigers, I just know I'm sinking for some reason. Like, I didn't even put that out there. I'm just, nope, it's just me and darkness and just claws. So no, hell no, tigers. Again, they don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. Sharks are like, hey, it's a Tuesday.
So you're saying if you see a flying shark, you just be like, "Oh, a flying shark! Hi."
I feel like with a flying shark, I could dodge.
Not wrong.
I'm not gonna dodge all of them.
But see, here's the thing: is the shark's only going to attack you if it's absolutely starving.
That is true.
A flying shark is just like vibing. Like it's just going from A to B. It's just going from A to B. Like if I get caught, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Okay. But I somehow at some point chose to go in tiger infested waters. It still sounds ridiculous, but I did it. I'm in tiger infested waters. And then nah, bro. No. Like, no. It gets worse the more we talk about it.
Okay. All right. So you're a cereal person, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. All right. So do you pour your cereal first and then the milk, or do you do your milk first and then the cereal?
I do the cereal first, then the milk.
Okay. Well,
not everybody is a monster, Louis.
Well, I'm the monster here because I love putting my milk first and then my cereal.
But why though?
I just do. It's just it just grew to a habit to do it. I just grew a habit for it, and trust me, even my family are like, "I don't know you." Every time they see me, every time they see
you still claim them, they don't claim you.
At that point, grab Pop-Tarts, man. Cereal bars, something. Just don't grab the cereal at that point.
He's just like a cereal hipster. Just like adjust his glasses. I'm like, pip. I put the milk first.
All right, Nightmare, what you got? I got one final question after yours.
Okay. So, what do you think is the better phone? iPhones or Androids?
That's like personal and professional for me, pretty much. Because, yeah, professionally, I see both sides. I am a iPhone user. And the troubleshooting on an iPhone, it's kind of ridiculous. It's just, oh, cool, this app isn't working. Uninstall it, reinstall it.
Mm.
I mean, it's just way user-friendly for the masses. Android, I can do whatever the hell I want on it. Program on it, it's basically a mini computer. Install whatever I want, do whatever I want. Bet. Which is, horrible for most points because you can literally download whatever you want on it, which is like viruses and blah, blah, blah. Generic consumer, iPhone, super user, Android, but again, all of my stuff is like iPhone. I have a MacBook. I pretty much live on an iPhone, so.
Gotcha.
MacBook here. I got an Android phone. I got a Apple tablet, so I have both. I get it.
You just want to keep it in your ecosphere. You have the
essentials.
ain't nothing wrong with
essentials that you need.
Yeah, and they all talk to each other. Like they're literally, they job. They're on the same store. It works.
Right. All right. So my final question: you're actually on a forest with no weapons, no nothing. All you have is your bare fists and your clothes that you have. You're actually trying to find your way home, and you find two paths. One path is shorter than the other. Okay, so in one path, there's one bear-sized goose that you have to pass through. In the other path, there's 100 goose-sized bears. Which one do you take and why?
Fighting 100 goose-sized bears, bro.
Really? You really think you can take on 100 goose-sized bears?
I'm gonna fight. There's been many gaming events in my life that I feel like have prepared me for this. That like I can't outrun them. Like I gotta actually throw hands with them and fight them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fighting some goose-sized bears, bro.
Damn.
They going down.
Damn.
See, I'm going with the bear-sized goose because I'm cooking that sucker after.
Like, I don't know what like prepared you in life to be able to know. I had a friend who swore to God, like he was a hunter. I gotta preface that. He was a hunter, and we were just having a casual conversation, and we're like, ha ha ha, just talking about different fictitious animals. And to a T, he told us how to skin and eat and cook to perfection a gummy bear. Like, I don't know if you ever saw the cartoon, the Disney's Gummy Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, like he knew. So I don't know how you just gonna like fillet or whatever a gummy bear, but all right, I have full confidence that We gonna eat good, I guess. I don't.
Look, there are recipes for a goose. It's just you gotta compensate for the bigger size. That's it.
I'm just saying, can I survive the forest first, and then we'll cook whatever? All I know is I'm gonna have some hops, some punches. I'm gonna do a couple WWE moves that I wanted to try. I will curb stomp one of them. Like,
I'm pretty sure
I'm getting out of there. Like, I'm going. I will Goomba stomp a couple on the way out. Like, I can see that happening. At least 17 of them are gonna go down as I try the Goomba stomp combo. So we'll be all right.
I'm pretty sure if you actually step on one, you can just make it into a shell and just throw it at the rest of them.
He's going Koopa Trooper over here, guys.
I just imagine Louis like grabbing one by like stomping it and by the tail and doing like the Mario 64.
So
like how you had to do
Bowser
and somehow landing them while they're in a row. Which, by the way, this whole scenario, they're in a row. Like, they're in a row. Like, there's no...
So what happens if they're not in a row?
No, like then you're just gonna do the zigzag jumps. Like you'll make it happen, bro. It'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. And this is not a question, but you mentioned how Extra Life is gonna be at CypherCon. What date exactly is CypherCon gonna happen?
Man, you're making me have to look that up. It's literally the first weekend of April. I know that much, which will probably put the date in the description, hopefully, because you'll be there. People want to see you. You're gonna probably tweet it out. I know the both of us have the hey CypherCon soon little thing in our Twitter. So yeah, all I know is it'll be at the Lake Charles Event Center.
They changed the name
as that.
Yeah, yes, because back then it used to be the Civic Center, and now is that?
Yeah, it is now the Event Center. So
interesting.
Like, all right,
awesome.
A lot of things going on. So.
And I want to thank all the listeners out there that actually listen to our live segment on Twitch. If you actually missed it, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, all the platforms you can think of, except SiriusXM. We do not have it on SiriusXM yet. Yeah. That'll happen soon because my co-host here is working on getting our podcast logo and name trademark. So as soon as we get that going, bro, SiriusXM, satellite radio, have our own actual radio channel, and not only are we're gonna be able to host our podcast, but we will be able to have people host their podcast as well on our radio channel.
Oh, that's nice. Like you'd have a brand. That's pretty lit.
Exactly. And so if you ever decide to do like a little wrestling talk, by all means, Shade, you're welcome to use us, bro.
I don't know. I would definitely have to ping pong that off of other people because one of the cool things about like. Excuse me. One of the cool things to know about like just wrestling in general and kayfabe, for those who don't know, the things that we're supposed to suspend our belief as real, like the Undertaker and Kane are brothers. One of the coolest things for me in wrestling is not just you and I can talk about the exact same match, and we will have two totally different experiences about it.
Exactly.
So not necessarily like I've heard the color commentation about it. I've heard the
play-by-play
feed us in the dirt. Yeah, I've heard what they want to feed us in the dirt sheets, but I can never assume or estimate how you personally felt about something. And that's one of the coolest parts about talking about wrestling and stuff. It again, we could be talking about the exact same build-up, but I guarantee you, I'm gonna see something from your perspective that I didn't see before, and that's something that I'm really interested in.
All right,
and it all depends on your experience too, like what you know about the business and everything too.
Yeah, exactly.
And for our final question, Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40?
So there's who I know should win, and then there's what I'm thinking is going to happen is who's going to win. So Cody Rhodes should win. 100%.
Finish the story.
However, he said finish the story. Bro, finish the story has gotten so big that Drew's trolling with it. It's literally the tagline for 2K24. Like, there's random people that now say it in casual conversation.
Finish your story?
I know a streamer who literally sat there and nicknamed their stream. They did a 12-hour mini stream, and they called it Finish the Story. And the objective was that they had a backlog of like 6 games.
Damn.
And they just wanted to go ahead and stream until they beat those 6 games.
That's dedication.
So it's like that phrase is so iconic now that it's like, bro, like
it will always will remember now. And that's
100%.
That's the main reason why I hope he wins, because I want him to, like, get it done. I mean, yeah, there's records to be meant to be broken and everything, but I mean, still, dude, I mean, let the guy finish his story. Like,
You just brought up records, and I'm glad that you did, because again, who should? Cody. But if we're in the era of breaking records, which I feel like we are, Roman's gonna retain.
Mm-hmm. And then
we have Gunther, who they should have kept named Walter, with the crazy Intercontinental Championship reign. Beforehand, we had the Usos making a historic one after the New Day did.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in the business of breaking records, y'all just better go ahead and prepare for this man to have that junk until like 2030.
Well, you heard. You heard.
But I do have a twist.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what'll happen is on night 1 that Seth and Cody are going to lose their tag match against The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's just gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like in the Bloodline match that we're probably gonna get a Rock heel turn. He has a hit, like he's already a heel. He's probably gonna turn on Roman. Like, he literally has a history of turning on his partners. I see him turning on Roman. However, if the books are how they're supposed to be, he's probably still going to retain.
Well, what I was gonna say.
Now, here's another twist that just recently got brought up. Dustin Rhodes. What if night 1, Rock does the turn? Night 2, Dustin shows up.
I got a feeling that John Cena or Stone Cold are gonna show up on night 2.
I don't know.
Because
there's just somewhat like they can show up. I just don't think they would be in this Bloodline feud. What
about Brock Lesnar?
No,
Brock is still he's on the shop. I don't see him messing with that feud though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking
Brock's out right now.
Like actually like injured?
No. He's out. With the Vince McMahon allegations, he's out of WWE.
So he was taken out of the game and off of the official off the website.
He's done.
No, he was off. He's back on.
He's back on now?
Yes, he's been back on for like 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
He's literally on. They took him off the website, period. And then like 2 weeks ago, they put him back on the website.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Cody got the respect from Brock when he beat him.
Yeah, I can see that. What I could see them doing is like during the again. I feel like that the whole street fight is gonna work to like the advantage of the story, if that makes sense. Like, and I mean this like this. So there's the narrative that they're actually doing, but then there's like, it's just so weird to actually put. I feel like the results. I feel like the buildup of the story is going to be awesome. I think we're going to get a bunch of good segments that are then going to make for new rivalries, specifically in that second night match. First night match, straightforward, no DQs. There's like there are DQs. There can't be any interruptions between that tag match. Like, there might be some stuff the ref doesn't catch, blah, 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 but there can't be a disqualification.
Yeah.
The next night is no holds barred, and because of it, every single time that they've done that, we've had mysterious interferences. Like, Solo came out and interfered in the same match twice one time. One time he was hooded, the other time he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, we might get a debut. Like, I know that, God, I forgot what his name is. There's another member of the Bloodline who got signed and is actually that might actually come up. Like, we don't know. So
you actually brought up a valid point earlier when you said about The Rock turning heel. And I gotta say that all this stuff that The Rock has been doing to Cody, I think is just making him get prepared for the final battle. Like, he's just basically making him be a stronger person. That's what
I think that, like, it's just it could go either way. But I really see The Rock betraying Roman somehow.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's going to set up for whatever the next pay-per-view is going to be Rock versus Roman, which everybody wanted up until Cody won Royal Rumble.
Correct. Like, I think it's all a part of a plan. But however, I'm still cool with that. I think we're gonna get like a bloodline civil war once again because that is super interesting. We're already leading to a bloodline civil war with the whole versus brother angle.
Mhm.
So why would we like? I've always said that Raw and SmackDown have always been a mirror image of each other. Like every
Mhm.
time that they've done something on one show, the
Mhm.
other show has to do an equivalent.
Mhm.
We already have brother versus brother.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be a far stretch to then get cousin versus cousin.
Right. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody that came and listened to this amazing podcast that we have with Shade. Thank you so much for coming out and actually having a talk with us. We look forward to seeing you at CypherCon. I mean, me personally, because unfortunately my co-host here is not in the state, but if he could teleport here, he would be willing to actually meet you and hang out with you as well.
Most times that's a weekend for the youngest birthday, so that one wouldn't work too much. But
is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to out there, Shade, before we go off the air? And you're muted, by the way.
Come on, there we go. Yeah, aha! Look at that, deja vu. Yeah, I mean, of course, I want to go ahead and give a shout out. I already mentioned my own social medias, KB Chronic, for keeping the iNew project alive for as long as it was. Of course, check out Extra Life at those links that's going to be provided. And man, I feel like I'm missing something. Just anybody who actually supported not only the Reef podcast, but just us as a whole. Oh, and Scion Esports, because we're going to be assisting them. They've been doing a lot of work with the community to get gaming to those people, so that does deserve a pat on the back.
And to be honest, if it wasn't for Scion Esports, Shade, I would not have met you and a lot of people from there.
Yeah, 100%. Like, honestly, like, especially in the culture of online gaming, I have a lot of friends that I've, like, known for over a decade or two.
Mm-hmm.
Never met them, but we're, like, tight. They know all of my business. But it's
Right.
just nice that, like, because they put gaming in the community, people were able to network, actually see each other. So, yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, like Shade said here, you actually can check out Extra Life at the links below. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. On behalf of me, Kratos here, and Shade with us here, we want to wish everybody a happy Easter for Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed with your family and your loved ones. Take care of yourselves, and whoever's going to CypherCon, see you at CypherCon in a few days.
All right, y'all take it easy.
As always, today's episode of the Reef Podcast was streamed live on Twitch. If you could not make it to the live stream of the podcast, you can always listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and iHeart Radio. Thanks for listening. See you next time.